says that Jesus spoke 7 times from the cross. His first word was a word of forgiveness. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. His second word was a word of salvation. Today thou shalt be with me in paradise. And on this morning we hear him speak this third word, which was a word of love. Woman, behold thy son. And to his disciple he said, behold thy mother. Now, it goes without saying, you all, that there's been a great deal of preaching, a great deal of teaching about these questionable characters that surrounded the cross. There was the proud Pharisee, who was not satisfied in simply condemning Jesus, but seeks to add insult to injury by shouting, you say you came to save us. Well, get down off the cross and save yourself. Then, of course, there was the infidel Sadducee who wants a chance to add to the mockery and the spectacle that's going on. So he arrogantly declares there is no such thing as a resurrection. But not only were the Pharisees and the Sadducees there must have also been some blind men there to whom Jesus had given sight. There were some deaf men there to whom Jesus had given hearing. There were some crippled men there who were standing on legs he made whole. There were some lepers there that the Lord had cleansed. Maybe the resurrected son of the widow woman that named, she was there. Perhaps the girl whose wedding he attended in Cana of Galilee, she was there. But who else was there? Who else witnessed this massacre of the Messiah? Well, John tells us that Mary was there. His mother was there. She saw it all. Can you imagine, St. Paul, what it must have been like to be Mary? She saw him when he came forth naked out of her womb. And now she has to look at his naked body nailed on a cross. She had cooked him bread long before the world would come to know that he is the living bread. This was the woman who had stayed up at night and rocked him to sleep long before the gospel writers would tell of him rocking angry seas to sleep. I wish I had somebody. And so it was to her, it was to Mary, it was to his mother that Jesus speaks the words of our text. Woman, behold thy son. Now, since we're praying, God-loving, kind, affectionate people, it would be easy for us to sentimentalize over this text, to allow the unimaginable pain of this mother to pull at our heartstrings. But at the risk of possibly being called callous and unfeeling, I want to challenge you to stop and consider the facts of the text more closely. Now, many of you already know from previous sermons the fate of a woman who lacked male covering in the first century world. In the social context of the biblical text, watch this now, women had no rights. There was no such thing as the ERA or anti-discrimination laws. The women's rights movement had not yet known its genesis. The world had yet to hear names like Susan B. Anthony, Nettie Helen Barrows, or Ida B. Wells Barnett. And so one could easily argue that perhaps Jesus was being proactive in protecting his mother. So fearing what might happen to her in his absence, he joins her with John to ensure that his mother would not suffer the societal penalties that could easily befall a woman in her condition. Well, that sounds good, and under normal conditions that would have been quite plausible, but the problem is the biblical record will not support it. Are y'all praying with me? You see, the death of Jesus would not have left Mary childless. Jesus had some brothers and some sisters who would have been able to take care of their mama. James, her next born son, many of us know his name, no doubt it would have been him who took over the family carpentry business after Jesus died anyway. Moreover, there was no reason to think that her daughters could not have taken her in and taken care of her and provided for her. And so there has to be some deeper reason, some other reason for this third statement that falls from the lips of our master. Might I suggest to you, St. Paul, that in the midst of his own painful experience, he gives his mother, he gives his disciple, and he gives us a lesson on how to deal with the painful experiences of our lives. How do you do it? How does Jesus say you survive it? How do you come through it? How do you face tomorrow when today has been unlike anything you've ever witnessed before? How do you live on tomorrow when you've got every reason to die today? How do you handle the painful experiences of life? Well, the text is tailored to teach that he does it by forcing them to accept the aftermath. Don't miss that now. You see, in order to survive a painful experience, you have to acknowledge that there will be an after this experience. Hello, somebody. Touch your neighbor and tell them there will be an after. Tell them, say, it's hard right now. It's rough right now, but there will be an after. This morning, I stand not as the pastor of St. Paul, but I stand as the representative of the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful God, and I declare and decree that when it's over, when it has ended, when it's all said and done, your after will be better. Talk to me, somebody. Your after will be brighter. In your after, you're going to be bigger. In your after, you're going to be wiser. In your after, you're going to be stronger. In your after, you're going to be better. Somebody shout after. So the Bible says that Jesus looks down from the cross on his mother and his friend, and he forces them to look beyond their present pain unto the aftermath of this painful experience. Now, I'm preaching to somebody this morning, even if you won't say amen, who needs to stop stressing and straining over the pain of your current situation and start setting up your future. I wish I had somebody. See, some of y'all can't shout right now because you're so focused on what you're dealing with right now that you don't recognize that the sun will come out tomorrow. Hello, somebody. There will be an after you come through this. So what? You lost your job. Go out there and get you a better one. So what? The car broke down. Go out there and get you a better one. So what? Your boo thing walked off and left you. Go out there and get you a better one. Talk to me, somebody. You got to go get you a better one. You've got to learn how to maximize your moments of pain by using them to prepare you for your next move. Hello, somebody. You got to learn how to use your pain in order to prepare you for the next move. I dare you to touch your neighbor and tell him, I got another move. Tell him, say, I got another move. It may look like it's all over, but I got another move. It might look like I'm not going to win, but thanks be to God, I got another move. Jesus says to his mother, woman, behold your son. Then he says to the disciple, behold your mother. Because if you're going to survive a painful experience, not only must you acknowledge that there will be an after, but you must also accept a new level of accountability. Be the preacher, Chris Davis. What I'm trying to help somebody see is that there is a purpose to your pain. See, pain will place you on the path to your destiny. See, pain will reposition you for a new realm of responsibility. I didn't expect to get no help right there. But see, somebody in here knows that you would not be where you are today if pain had not pushed you there. Hello, somebody. You didn't just wake up and decide to go there. That was not on your itinerary. It was pain that pushed you to that place. If it hadn't been for some teacher who told you could not learn, you never would have fixed your focus and finished what you started. Hello, somebody. If it had not been for some hater who told you your folk wasn't nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing. You never would have set your goals and achieved your goals. If you had never gone through the things you've been through, you never would have found your purpose. You never would have embraced God's mandate for your life. You never would have said yes to the calling on your life. You never would have come in agreement with what God is doing in your life. David said, it was good that I was afflicted. It was good that I had to go through. It was good that I had this experience, because it was this experience that ushered me into my destiny. Jesus said, woman, here is your son. Because if you're going to survive a painful experience, you have to acknowledge the fact that, number one, there's going to be an after. Number two, you have to accept a higher level of accountability. But then number three, I love this one, you must understand that you're the answer to somebody's problems. You missing it, you missing it, you missing it. Is there anybody here that can testify that you found your own healing by helping somebody else? You found the balm for your wounds by being a blessing to somebody else. I ain't gonna get no help right here, but watch this. You aren't going through what you're going through just for you, but you're going through what you're going through to help somebody else. You're going through what you're going through to encourage somebody else. You're facing what you're facing so you can tell somebody else, I've already been there. And if the Lord did it for me, he can do the same thing for you. I mean, what's the point of having wounds if you're not going to show them off? What's the point of having a testimony if you ain't going to tell nobody? What's the point of going through hell if you ain't going to go back and get somebody? You got to use what you're going through now to help somebody else.